Hey traders, John Howell here. Today we're going to look at Tesla. I'm going to show you Tesla stock now. That's obviously today Tesla had a big up move with Tesla, and I want to share with you what I see on there, and also some chart reading techniques that's important for you to follow if you want to have more of a probability on your side. Okay, so obviously this is just education only. I'm not telling you to buy or sell Tesla right now. Just teaching you a few things and how you can apply it to every other market out there. So also I want to say this to Ashu. Mate, you've been putting in my chat box that you want to actually. Your question was this. Let me actually go back to your question. Your question was, and the question was to you. I'm just trying to find this question now. Where'd you put this? All right, so you put it on my. All right, so let me just. All right. Well, anyway, I think Asu, you said you basically said, you know, how do you read the intraday charts and stuff like that? How do you read the intraday charts? How do you read the daily charts? You know, and things like that. So, one thing I want to let me just share this with you. Okay, here we go. Ashu. John, do some teachings on intraday trading, lower lows and vice versa. Anyone can recognize this on our daily chart. Well, the thing is, Ashu, is that this is one of the biggest things I must say to you is that it doesn't matter what time frame you are looking at. The exact same formations form. So if you look at a chart, it doesn't matter whether it's a 1 minute chart, a 60-minute chart, a daily chart, or even a weekly chart, they all make the exact same patterns. It's not like the hourly chart's going to do something completely different than the daily chart. No, they all make the exact same patterns. Makes sense? So that's basically what you want to do is assume, yes, you can recognize on a daily chart, but use the exact same things as a 1 minute chart. If I bring up, all right, I'm looking at Tesla right now. If I bring up a 1 minute chart, I'm just going to, guess what? I'm going to bring up a 1 minute chart, and then I'm going to start to identify. Guess what? You just got to start to identify everything. You're going to start to identify the peaks and troughs, the price and time, the momentum, and all these different things, right? So all I say is that no matter what market you are trading, that obviously the market, all the markets does is makes peaks and troughs and try to understand where that's coming from. Anyway, I hope that makes sense, Ashu. It just doesn't matter what market, doesn't matter what time frame you're looking at. They all make the same formation, same patterns. Make sense? So and then that's where like my momentum setup, the setup that you guys get access to for free with the 7-day free trial with the Master Trader Lab, and all those other good stuff, chart reading strategies and all that sort of stuff with the 7-day free trial. First link in the description. But that's the reason why that momentum system is so powerful, is because it's based on the chart. So whether you were looking at a 1 minute chart, a daily chart, an weekly chart, it's the exact same setup. You're just looking at a different time frame. That's all. And the thing is like we're looking at Tesla here, right? So a lot of people there's been a lot of talk around Tesla today because, you know, they said this and said that and blah, 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 blah. Now, as traders, one thing we can recognize here is that we can see the market's been very, very messy, right? There's been a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and so on and so forth. If I bring up, say, a 6-month view, you can see what's happening here, right? So the first thing I want to say is that you can see we had a lower high, a lower high, a low, lower low, lower high. So who's in control? Sellers, and then suddenly started making this higher low. Who's in control? No one, right? Then it made this what? Then it made this basically double top, and then it made this basically double bottom. So who's in control right now? No one really, right? There's no one really in control there at all. And now it's made this high here. So does that mean buyers in control? Possibly. But the one thing that has made a massive difference to my personal trading is when I'm looking for my setup, right? I need my chart, I need my trading setup, I need my trading plan. When I'm looking at that, the biggest thing that you can do is make sure you're trading with the higher time frame trend. So let me see if I can just delete everything off the screen here. Delete everything. And what I'm going to do is, okay, so now we're looking at here. So now what you want to do is you want to go to the weekly chart, and this what you want to identify where is the weekly trend right now. And all you're going to do is what are you going to do? You're going to identify the highs and lows. That's all you're going to do. So let me just do a box here. So this was a low, this was a high, higher high. This is what? This is a higher high, higher low, buyers in control. Higher low, higher high, buyers in control. Double top, double bottom, runs up. Very, very messy, right? But this will be the what? This will be the lower. This will be the lower high. Now came down, made a lower low. With me so far? So once again, if you look at the market as in waves, the wave up, wave down, wave up, wave down. Where does the market start and where does it end before it starts to do that? So as you can see, if you look at this as waves, let me see if I can bring up, and I'll make this really, really thick. Yep, there you go. So if you look at it as waves, right? Wave up, wave down, wave up, wave down, wave up, wave down, wave up. Because as you can see, it went sideways a little bit, right? But this is where the low was. This is where the high is. Wave down, and now it's making a wave up. So as you can see, right, if you look at it like that, that's how the market's working. So, and as you can see right now, we're still here. So, who's in control of the weekly chart right now on Tesla? The sellers, right? The sellers are starting to slowly knock this down, lower lows, lower highs. So right now, even though Tesla had a nice update, it doesn't mean the trend's going to change. Now the trend can change, and obviously that's what we need to do as traders. But oh, excuse me. But obviously the trend can change, and what we need to do is make sure that we're trading with that higher time frame trend. So whatever chart you are trading. All right, shoot, whatever chart you're trading, just make sure you're trading with the higher time frame trend. I like to trade the daily chart, so therefore I look for the weekly chart for the trend. Because remember, the higher time frame is the footprint of the big guys. If I'm trading, say a 60-minute chart, right? A 60-minute chart, then I'm going to look at the daily chart or the 4-hourly chart for the trend. If I'm trading, say a 1-minute chart, I'm going to look for the 15-minute chart for the trend, or at least the 5-minute chart for the trend analysis. Make sense, guys? So that's what you want to do. The reason why is because you want to be trading with the big guys. Remember, it's all about probability when we're trading. We want to make sure we're trading with the big guys and make sure we're trading along that side. Make sense? Alongside them. And remember, when I'm looking at the high time frame, we're trading with essentially it's what I call the footprint of the big guys. Now the weekly chart is the footprint of the big guys, but if you're getting in and getting out of the markets on a short-term basis or whatever, 1-minute chart, you may be in it for a few minutes and out, or 1 minute you're in and out. You know what I mean? Like you just don't know. You want to make sure you're trading with a high time frame trend, because remember, we all know the trend is your friend. We all know the biggest, most highest probability trades are in the direction of the underlying trend. So use this technique to really, really help you when you are trading. Always trade with the higher time frame trend. So even if you have a really high probability trading setup, to increase it even more, make sure you're trading with that trend. There was a setup here. There was a setup that recently happened on the chart. And actually, let me actually bring that up here. So while I'm bringing that up here, guys, make sure you click on that link in the description below. Go join my 7-day free trial to my entire Master Trader Lab program. Plus, also, I'm going to share with you the amazing trade that's coming up real soon. So let me just share with you. Let me just take this off the screen here. Let me share with you a trade setup that I'm talking about here that happened just recently on the charts. Let me just see if I can delete everything off the screen here now from Tesla. Let me show you this now. All right, so here was a recent example of a trade setup that appeared on my chart, and it was actually right here, and you can see all these small little bars, and then we had this breakdown bar right here, and you can see we had an increase in volume. So it was this bar right here. All right, so this bar right here was the entry bar for me of this setup here. Now, as I said before, like that was my entry bar to actually get in on. Now, as I said before, you want to make sure you're trading with the high time frame trend. So this is where the daily chart was at that time of this drop down. And also, if I again, this happened just recently, and if I go to my weekly chart, this is my weekly chart. What's the weekly chart saying? The weekly chart is saying what? We had this high, we had this lower low, then it came down, made this lower high, and as you can see, as this bar came down, guess what? That's where the entry bar was there. So who's in control of this weekly chart? Making lower low, lower highs. The sellers are in control. So the highest probability trade is in the direction of the underlying direction of the trend. Makes sense? And so therefore that was a particular trade setup that formed on the chart just recently. And as you can see, that's where it's at right now. So Anyway, guys, I wanted to share this with you. I hope this makes sense when Tesla, reading the charts and understanding the markets and understanding, you know, where to look, where to get in and so on and so forth. And just make sure that you have your trading setup and make sure that you're only taking your trading setup. Okay, so trading setup and use the high time frame trend as your confirmation. Make sure you're doing that because that'll increase your success rate tenfold. So anyway, guys, click on the very first link in the description. Go grab your 7-day free trial. As I'm running a little marketing test right now, you can grab all my foundation to your success, the chart reading mastery, trading systems, mindset, private Facebook group, and so much more about that. So very first link in the description, guys, 7-day free trial. Go check it out. I'll see you soon.